Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here this noontime. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton. We are in the middle of this big storm that's moving through the state right now. And the reason why we are both on the air and on our streaming apps is now we are reaching kind of a critical time in southern Maine where the snow is transitioning over to an icy mix. And we have a long way to go. This isn't going to wrap up for about another 12 hours. We have crews fanned across the state. Meteorologist Jessica Conley is here with us. Christian Harsa, Pearl Small, and we also have Raya Wooten. We will get to all of them for updates on the conditions across the state in just a moment, but let's get you up to speed on the current weather situation. There actually is a little break in the precipitation developing in southern Maine, but it's going to be short-lived. Meanwhile, we have steady snow all through the mountains and far north. We're going to show you some webcams here. In Portsmouth, we've actually gone above freezing, and there may be a little bit of plain rain on the extreme southern coast, talking Kittery, perhaps York, right at the water's edge, but you go just inland, and that's why we're thinking it'll be cold enough for freezing rain. In Portland, the temperature hasn't budged. It's been 22 now for several hours. We've seen snow mixing with sleet. We'll catch up with Jess in a minute on what's going on out there. And for the skiers, it is a powder day at Sugarloaf. The snow has been coming down here for a couple of hours now. 16 degrees there, and it's also 16 in Bangor. You can see 395 here covered with some snow that began about 2 hours ago now. So snow will continue farther inland for several more hours, but we're all going to see a transition to sleet and some freezing rain. Sleet, ice pellets, really tough to clean up and really tough to drive in. So we think even when it's not snowing out and you see these sleet pellets coming down, you might be deceived. It's going to be tough getting around this afternoon. And then this evening, freezing rain becomes more of an issue with the potential for some outages. In southern New England, there has been a lot of freezing rain. All this pink you see here from Connecticut into central Massachusetts is freezing rain. And there have been some places in Connecticut where there's been enough to knock down some tree limbs and a few power lines already. In southern Maine, we're in this gap now, but this area of what will likely be sleet and possibly some freezing rain will be lifting north over the next 45 minutes to an hour. It's kind of racing in here. So I think that the steady precipitation picks back up by 12:40 in Biddeford and before 1 o'clock in Portland and Windham. You can see right now it's just kind of a light precipitation, a little light sleet, maybe a little freezing drizzle here. North of Portland, though, we do have snow falling, a pretty good band actually going right through Augusta. This is headed into Waterville. It's on the north side of Lewiston around Turner, and also Rumford and Farmington getting into a good burst of snow at the moment, too. That's lifted into eastern and northern Maine. It took a while to get the snow going on the down east coast. You may get into a little lull shortly, but you can see plenty of snow from Rockland to Belfast, and that's all moving north and east as well. Temperatures almost everywhere are below freezing, 18 even in Bar Harbor, 22 in Portland, but right near the water's edge, Kittery, Portsmouth, we might warm a bit above freezing as we have now. Maybe some of the islands and peninsulas later, but I think that for most of us, the ground temperature stays below freezing, and that's really the problem. So over the next several hours, the mix line goes north. Probably only another hour or two of snow in places like Lewiston and Augusta, and you'll turn to sleet. That happens in Bangor around 4 o'clock. And then this evening, we become a bit more concerned about the possibility of freezing rain close to the coastline. Notice the rain just offshore, but you go inland and it's cold right at the ground. So I think starting around 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll start to see more freezing rain while it's still sleet farther inland, closer to the snow line. And we stay mostly snow in the mountains and far north, especially the farther north of Route 2 you get this afternoon. It takes a while to get out of here. This is 10 o'clock tonight, and we have a mix going through the mid-coast and down east, perhaps a little bit of plain rain, even from Bar Harbor over to Eastport. The center of the low will be right here in Penobscot Bay, and that can briefly wrap in some warmer air. But on the backside, at all levels of the atmosphere, it will then cool. So we may end as a little bit of snow, even on the coastline around midnight tonight, and then all of this will taper to the north. Although even tomorrow morning there could be some snow showers north of Bangor up into the mountains. So your snowfall accumulation is pretty much done in York County, and for that matter probably Cumberland County too. You won't get much additional snow. You will farther north though near Route 2 and certainly up north where it stays mostly, if not all, snow. The potential ice, again, all of this area will see some sleet, but the freezing rain is probably confined to southern New Hampshire, York County, coastal Cumberland County and inland a bit too, likely south of Lewiston onto the mid-coast and into down east. That's where we'll be keeping an eye out for the potential power outages tonight. Hopefully it's just a few hours of freezing rain. If it turns into several, that's when we would have more issues. And it's a fine line between sleet and freezing rain.